With more than 10 years of experience teaching economics, I realized that the fundamental problem which most students face is that they've not really encountered what is essentially a social science subject. They're just not set out on the right footing. From day one, students need to anticipate exam questions. There are theories, diagrams, and data on one hand, as well as thesis, antithesis, and synthesis, all mixed up in what some might see as a very complicated subject. I can perfectly understand why students find difficulty in applying what they have learned, but I also realized that this is a very manageable problem, and that's exactly what I set out to solve for all my students. One very distinct feature of economics as an A-level subject is that you can see very clear patterns in the questions that are being assessed in the finals. So if I look at demand and supply, market failure, macro aims and issues, I can confidently tell you that there are 3 or 4 recurring themes that are being tested year after year. The answer lies in working backwards. I have distilled the syllabus into concise and digestible parachute concepts. If you look at demand and supply, for example, in terms of content coverage, students will be learning about demand factors, supply factors, PED, PES, YED, CED, combined shift analysis, as well as the adjustment process. On the other side of the topic, they will also learn about different forms of government intervention. They include price ceilings, price controls, taxes, and subsidies. So with that in mind, my mission is to help students cut through the clutter in their school notes and zero in on the truly important parts. To complement the parachute concepts, I've devised essay structures, content frameworks, and content acronyms to strengthen students' application skills. This is a typical question on the impact on the market. We start with the first step, which entails looking at factors affecting demand and supply. The second step starts with an E, because students need to assess the relevance of PED. Following that, we assess the relevance of PES. With the first 3 steps done, you can see the content that's required. We follow up with an assessment of which one changed more, whether there's a bigger change in demand or supply. You draw your combined shift diagram and you follow up with the adjustment process. The last step, which starts with an E, refers to evaluation. And altogether, this is a very quick illustration of what the feeble approach looks like. I realized very early on that students need a good set of resources to support their learning journey. I've devised a set of teaching infrastructure that supports all students of TET education. There's the 10-year series published by Xing Li, which can be found in almost all school bookstores. I've also written 2 guidebooks, focusing on parachute concepts and revision frameworks. You probably have noticed your friends carrying them around the school. What you learn from the guidebooks, in terms of frameworks, are translated into full-length essays in the 10-year series. And these 3 books provide a one-stop solution for students where content and application skills are coherent and consistent. In addition to all of this, I've spent the last 2 years developing an intelligent and intuitive writing software for students. I'm pleased to say, right now, instead of 1 hour, my students can practice writing an essay in 25 minutes. So when you interact with the interface, you'll be asked to type in your essay question. And that was a question where the impact on the market was not specified. So to start with, you'll be prompted to select which one is the aspect being considered here. So the question is about impact on the market, where we are looking at the revenue outcome. And after that, you have to pick your demand factors, and that's followed by your PES analysis. We had a fall in supply because of higher production costs. And of course, for PED, we said it's greater than 1 because of the availability of substitutes. You'll be brought to this screen, and that shows you the entire essay template. So students can add in their explanatory notes at each point, and if they need to back this up with a diagram, you can make your selection from here. And when you're done with this, okay, you can just save it as a PDF, you can bring it to class for discussion, or you can even submit this to your school teachers for marking. So you can see how the same steps involved in writing an essay can be made a lot more condensed and guided through the use of my software. Some people say that you need to have passion in the subject to do well in it. I don't think that's always the case. Passion comes from understanding what the job entails. That's why I'm still here after so many years. The moment you set foot in the exam hall, time is against you. What is even more crucial is to be able to apply your knowledge in a succinct and contextual way. As long as you stick to it and under the right guidance, you will definitely have the ability to do well. Hi, I'm Melvin Koh, and I'm the founder and principal tutor at TET Education.